You asked, and I'm here to answer all your burning questions about attending or hosting a dinner party after lockdown. Welcome back. This is Max Decorum. Let's get started. Question number 1. How can we reassure nervous guests to get together after lockdown? Very timely question indeed. I think the best route is always communication. If you've got some friends who you know are a little bit nervous to re-enter society, as all of us are a little bit, the best thing to do is have a quick discussion in advance about what it's going to be like. Casually drop how many other people are coming and keep it limited if you know that you have some nervous guests. Let them know that there'll be space across the table, that no one will be jammed in. Let them know how the evening is going to roll. You might want to add that you'll leave the windows open or that there'll be an indoor-outdoor affair, whatever it is. Just very nice for nervous guests to know in advance what to expect. That usually will dispel any of the lingering nerves and is just considerate hosting. Someone asks, what do you recommend if you don't have enough seating for your dinner guests? A couple of things. First of all, the buffet style is always welcome. If you're going to sit on the floor, it's fine. Just embrace it and lay down a tablecloth there and some pillows around the sides. Just move some furniture out of the way. Just create a special place where everybody is going to sit. Make sure that it's not awkward where guests don't know if they can sit somewhere or not. And vacuum your floors. Dinner party need not be a formal sit-down affair. It can be totally casual. Someone can sit on the arm of your couch. Just make sure there is a designated space where everybody is going to gather to eat, and it is clear where they should serve themselves and how. Just stack up the plates at the side of the table, the silverware, unless of course you're lucky enough to have outdoor space. And in that case, why not just move out of doors and have an actual picnic? If you have to choose only one, appetizers or dessert? I like this question because I feel myself and just about everyone has been in a situation where you've only got time to do one. And I would say it's dessert. Why? It's really not about having a sweet tooth or not, but about the flow of the evening. Dessert is really nice to break up the evening and allow guests to kind of relax after the main meal and not feel like they should be booted out the door. Also, it's really lovely to be able to offer your guests something when they arrive at your home. But it doesn't need to be a formal appetizer or a d'oeuvre. It's equally lovely to have a small snack bowl, a bowl of nuts or crisps, whatever you've got on hand that's super easy. Just offering a drink is super nice, a refreshment when they walk in the door, whether it be alcoholic, wine, or a cold refreshing beer, or a non-alcoholic spritzer or something thirst-quenching that you've made to start the evening off. So no need to do both formal appetizers and desserts, but stick with some dessert because it nicely winds down the evening and lets people feel they have some space to relax before that final course. What is a show-stopping vegetarian recipe that will please everyone? This is a good one for me right now because I'm gonna go vegetarian for this next month, and I grew up that way, so have a pretty good idea of what will please a vegetarian palate. I always go back to pastas and tarts. Let's just focus on the tart for a second. Don't think that a quiche or tart is too basic for your vegetarian friends. The easiest way to class it up and make it show-stopping is to add some super fresh local ingredients and arrange them in a beautiful way. If you go out to your local farmer's market or grocer and find seasonal vegetables, for instance, right now I've been seeing everywhere black and white asparagus. How beautiful to chop that up and arrange it in a lovely pattern with some cheese and herbs, maybe some cherry tomatoes for another pop of color. There's so much that you can do with the face of a tart in terms of arranging the vegetables in a beautiful way that is as show-stopping as any meat centerpiece. And who doesn't love a hearty quiche or tart? It's pleasing to everyone. Next question. How to make your post-lockdown dinner parties really fire? I love this question because I am firmly in the camp rooting for a new 2020s, roaring 20s, the era of the dinner party. I think we've all been cooped up so long, and as we ease back into society, it will be more comfortable to hang in each other's homes than in a crowded restaurant with strangers. But we don't want to sacrifice all that feeling of a full experience that you get while going out to a restaurant. All we need to do is recreate it in our homes. Forget about a dinner party where you fuss over the food or where you pay no mind to anything but the food. You want to set a whole scene for your guests as a host, and it doesn't need to be difficult. Dim the lights a little bit, light those candles, bring your best dishes out. What are they waiting for? Make a playlist, but not too loudly in the background. Set the scene. Have something on hand to offer guests when they arrive in your door. It could be a bowl of crisps. It doesn't matter. It's just about creating that flow of an evening that feels the same as going in and sitting down at a nice restaurant. You want to think about where everybody's going to sit, what it looks like. You want to lay your table in advance, have it waiting for your guests, have it feel special and like a night out. That's what I would recommend for having a really fire dinner party. To do that, I have a video on how to set a table with a lot of different inspo about using really basic stuff that you have around your home. Also, I highly recommend grabbing yourself some supermarket flowers and arranging those in colorful bunches around your home. I'll link to a video about that. But anyway, this is about the details, but the simple ones. And the menu should be equally simple too. I got this question in several different iterations, but basically the gist of it is what to bring as a hostess gift that is both practical and not the cliche wine or flowers, though those are both always appreciated. If you want to do something a little bit different, but equally useful for your hostess, I would always recommend bringing some little food item and packaging it up in a beautiful way that signals a gift. Back to that asparagus at the farmer's market. If you see a little bushel of some specialty vegetable that is in your local area and your host wouldn't be able to pick up on their own, that's a lovely thing to bring. Just take it and tie it up with a little bit of twine or hemp or a ribbon or anything you've got on hand from a previous gift exchange and make it look a little extra special. Another thing you can do is something homemade but super simple. If I may, I recommend you check out my compound butter video because a specialty compound butter is so easy to put together and looks so fancy. On another note, I think in this new era of dinner party hosting where going to your friends is a replacement for a night out at a restaurant, let's pay attention to all those details that make the evening a full experience, such as music, lighting, and the table. Something that your guests can use to set that scene is going to be appreciated every time. And I recommend some colorful candlesticks. They're so easy to find. They're even at grocery stores. They're all over Etsy. Have a little stash somewhere and pick a couple when you get invited over. Again, tie them up with a little bow of something and bring that over so that your host has something extra special to set the table and set the scene. Someone asks, what recipes do you recommend for somebody who's not a confident chef? I always recommend simple pastas or a Thomas Keller roast chicken. Thomas Keller's roast chicken is the first meat dish that I ever learned to cook, having grown up till my mid-20s a vegetarian. And if it was easy enough for a pure vegetarian to tackle, I think anybody can do it. Not only that, it is so deceptively simple and looks so fancy, because when somebody can pull off a really good roast chicken, it just seems like they know what they're doing. But the main trick to this is to let it dry out in your fridge overnight. And if you don't have time for that, pull out your hairdryer and just dry it really thoroughly. That is what makes it crispy. Then it takes a salt and pepper rub, or I like to add a little turmeric for that goldenness on the skin, and it's good. Similarly, pastas. Super easy to do. The only thing that you can truly mess up is overcooking the pasta. Err on the side of al dente. One recipe I'm really enjoying now that couldn't be easier and just tastes like summer is lemon pasta. It involves lemon, oil, parmesan, and garlic. That's it. And yet it seems to just conjure that taste of Italy that is a little more sophisticated, but couldn't be more simple. Another question. What are my favorite sources for finding new recipes? Well, I am not a huge cookbook person. I have a few staples that I rely on a lot, which I'll link down in the description box. I love Laura Jackson, Skye McAlpine, Athena Calderon, and a couple other new cookbooks I've been referred recently. But my real inspiration for finding new recipes is actually eating outside of my home. So whenever I go to a restaurant and have a new dish that really delights me, a combination of flavors I haven't tried, I take some notes and I try to recreate that at home. Similarly, I love getting inspiration and new recipes from my friends when I am a guest in their home for a dinner party. I feel like we all have our comfort staple foods that we know we can cook well, but it's really fun to figure out what those are for your friends so that they can share their tips and expertise on how to do that and you can expand your repertoire. There you are, folks, and if I didn't answer your question today, then it might be because I'm going to do a whole video on it. So thanks for watching. I hope this answered some of your questions, eased any post-lockdown dinner party anxieties, and I hope you'll be throwing one or attending one very soon.